Hello everyone. This video is all about consumer awareness. So, what is consumer awareness? Consumer awareness means being conscious or having knowledge about the various consumer production laws, redress mechanism, and the consumer rights, which include right to protection of health and safety from goods and services that the consumer buy, right to be informed about the quality, price, potency, purity, and standard of good, right to choose the best from a variety of others, right to get representation if there is any grievance or suggestion, and right to seek redress against unfair trade practice or unscrupulous exploitation. Consumer rights. First, right to safety. The right to be protected from all types of hazardous goods and services. Number 2, right to choose. The right to free choice of goods and services. Number 3, right to be heard. The right to be heard in all decision making processes related to consumer interest. Number 4, right to information. The right to be fully informed about the performance and quality of all goods and services. Number 5, right to healthy environment. The right of every citizen to live and work in a clean and safe environment and ensure that future generations also have access to clean atmosphere. Number 6, right to redressal. The right to seek compensation whenever consumer rights have been infringed. Number 7, right to consumer education. The right to complete consumer education. Number 8, right to basic needs. The right to have access to basic day to day needs to live a reasonable life. Consumer responsibilities. Number 1. The consumer has a certain responsibility to carry as an aware consumer, can bring changes in the society and would help other consumers to fight the unfair practice or be aware of it. Number 2. They should be aware of their rights under the Consumer Protection Act and should practice the same in case of need. Number 3. They should be well aware of the product they are buying and should act as a courteous consumer while purchasing the product. Number 4. If in case a product is found of anything false or not satisfactory, a complaint be filed. Number 5. The consumer should ask for a cash memo while making a purchase. Number 6. A customer should check for the standard marks that have been introduced for the authenticity of the quality of the product like ISI or hallmark, etc.
Need for consumer protection. The consumer is the most important factor in business. No business can survive without consumers, as their satisfaction is the main purpose of any business operations. Business is not just about monetary benefits, but also to upgrade the society to a better version by keeping its welfare as an objective. The Constitution has provided us with the Consumer Protection Act of 1986 to protect the consumers from any marketing malpractices. Consumer protection rights promote a healthy competitive market which supports economic growth. It keeps away malicious trade practices and unscrupulous business owners from damaging the fair trade. Consumers are an integral part of a market structure. It is very important to protect their rights in order to have a fair market structure. Forms of consumer exploitation. Consumer exploitation is a type of exploitation in which the consumers are exploited or cheated by the business community in terms of poor quality of product, underweight, undermeasurement, duplicate articles, etc. Some of the common ways by which the consumers are exploited by the business community are as follows: underweight and undermeasurement, substandard quality, high prices, duplicate articles, adulteration and impurity, lack of safety devices, artificial scarcity, false and incomplete information, unsatisfactory after sales services, and rough behavior.
Consumer movement in India. For successful consumer movement, people need to be educated. India is not only highly populated but also culturally diverse and has vast number of illiterates. So bringing consumer awareness is a big task. It is slowly picking up and lots to be done in this regard. Two major concerns are spreading consumer awareness in rural area of India and timely delivery of justice. Consumer awareness in rural India. On account of the globalization and liberalization, increase in middle income and high income population in the villages, our rural markets are also expanding. So, companies are reaching with their products to our rural markets as well. But the rural consumers in India are generally ignorant and illiterate, so they are exploited by the manufacturers, traders, and service providers. Rural consumers face problems like fake brand, spurious products, lack warranties and guarantees, imitation, unreasonable pricing, lack of varieties, and so on. Thus, there is a serious need for spreading consumer awareness in the rural areas.
National Consumer Helpline. The Government of India has discovered a National Shopper Helpline (NCH), and to register a complaint you can call on 1800 11 4000 or 14404 that provides recommendation, info, and storage to empower shoppers and persuade businesses to reorient their policy and management systems to handle shopper issues and grievances adopting world standards. The NCH responds to over 40,000 complaints in a month, and it's partnered with over 300 major firms to whom complaints are transferred online for resolution and obtaining feedback from them. Associate Degree Integrated Grievance Redress Mechanism (INGRAM) portal was launched for conveyance of all stakeholders like shoppers, central and authorized agencies, non-public firms, regulators, ombudsmen, and decision centers, etc., onto one platform. The portal helps in making awareness among shoppers to guard their rights and inform them of their responsibilities. Consumer Protection Act. The Consumer Protection Act provides for the protection of the interests of the consumers and for the said purpose to establish authorities for timely and effective administration and settlement of consumers' disputes and for matters connected therewith, according to the Consumers Protection Act 2019. An act to provide for better protection of the interests of the consumers and for that purpose to make provision for the establishment of consumer councils and other authorities for the settlement of consumers dispute and for matters connected therewith, according to the Consumer Protection Act 1986. The Consumer Protection Act 1986 seeks to promote and protect the interests of the consumers against deficiencies and defects in goods or services. It also seeks to secure the rights of a consumer against unfair or restrictive trade practices. This act was passed in Lok Sabha on 9th December 1986 and in Rajya Sabha on 10th December 1986 and was assented by the President of India on 24th December 1986 and was published in Gazette of India on 26th December 1986. Consumer Redressal System in India. There is legal and administrative machinery working in the field of consumer education in our country. It is important for you to understand it. Consumer redressal system is a system under which the consumer can file a complaint in a consumer court and demand justice when they are cheated by the sellers or manufacturers of the commodity or service they buy. IT comprises of the laws to protect the interest of the consumers and the institutions to enforce the laws to uphold consumers' rights. Thanks to the government, we have consumers' law made through legislation in our country with a special focus on consumer education. The purpose is to help the people understand their rights and responsibilities as consumers and to reduce their grievance. There is also existence of institutions in the form of government developments and consumer courts to deal with the grievance of the affected consumers.